Besties, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with even more opinions for you guys. Despite these opinions being very blunt and honest, I'm sure you will find yourself agreeing with most of them because you won't be able to deny them. If you disagree with something, you already know what to do. Tell me your thoughts down below in the comments and explain your point of view if you want. I don't think you need me to make any disclaimer. You already know these are just my personal opinions. Anyway, let's start. You're just as ignorant about Korean culture as some idols are about yours. I know that this is a touchy subject, but hear me out. Most of you, me included, know little to nothing about Korean culture and what's considered offensive or not. I bet you don't have a damn clue about certain terms that can be pretty offensive, especially if said in a certain context. So why do you jump to conclusions and call idols racists if they happen to use certain slang words they don't know the meaning of? I'm sorry, but offensive slang like the N-word isn't taught in schools. No English teacher teaches you slang, let alone offensive terms, and I don't see how these idols would know about its implications. Most people who don't have English as their first language have no idea what it means and just hear it on songs on the radio, singing along without understanding. How would you feel if you were singing to a Korean song with some offensive lyrics and you got cancelled by Koreans even if you were clueless? Idols who don't speak English and say things like the N-word are just ignorant, not racists. You know nothing about other cultures, but you expect people to know everything about yours. How fucking hypocritical is that? Sadly, most people expect pretty female idols to be talentless. I had this thought thinking about two specific idols. The first example is Seolyoon from NMIXX. I remember when the members were announced, many people expected her to be mostly just a visual, and when NMIXX had their debut and following activities where Seolyoon showcased her super strong vocals and her dancing skills, everyone was so surprised. People weren't as surprised in seeing the other members' skills, but they were really shook when they saw how talented Seolyoon was. This is kinda sad because due to her outstanding visuals, a lot of people just assumed her only strong point were her looks, which is incredibly stupid and pathetic. Another example is Lee Seraphim's Garam. As much as I stopped supporting her after her controversial past has resurfaced, we cannot deny that she had pretty good vocals. And just like Seolyoon, many people were shocked in seeing that she got a lot of lines in the group's songs and that she seemed to be a very solid vocalist. It's like people were expecting her to be just a pretty face and nothing more. And like I said, I stopped supporting her completely, but I would be lying if I said she was untalented. All in all, I just think people have some kind of prejudice against pretty female idols and they just assume they're gonna be only pretty but without any particular skill, which is really sad to think about. Some idols' positions are ridiculously wrong. For example, how can you tell me Everglow Xion isn't a main vocalist when she takes on most of the hardest parts and high notes, and how can you tell me Mia isn't the center when she is literally treated as such? Obviously this doesn't only apply to Everglow, but that was just an example. I can think of quite a few groups where the positions just don't make sense. Companies should update positions as time goes by if an idol significantly improves over time and ends up becoming worthy of a certain role within the group. Not to mention some companies just assign positions to certain people just to then having other members being in charge of those positions. And yes, I'm once again talking about Everglow. Like, make it make sense. You either want groups to change concept and sound or you don't. Make up your mind. I always, and I repeat always, hear people complaining about groups sticking to the same concept, like for example ITZY sticking to the self-love concept. But as soon as they switched things up with Mafia in the Morning, you all just shitted on them. Or I remember people not vibing with NCT Dream's cute concept they had in the beginning, but then crying and begging them to get back to the cute concept as soon as they started transitioning into a more mature one. Like, make up your mind. And then you complain about so many groups having the same style every comeback, like Blackpink always doing the girl crush concept or G-Friend, when they were still active, having similar sounding songs, making it clear that you want to see groups doing different things. But then when groups do different things, like TXT trying the pop-punk concept or ENHYPEN trying a new style with Blessed Cursed, you just shit on their new songs. I'm sorry, but you either want to see K-pop artists sticking to the same thing or switching it up. You can't be begging them to do something different and then wanting them to get back to their previous sound. Or again, you can't say you want your faves to stick to the same concept because that's what they do best and then keep on saying you're getting bored of their sound. I'm sorry, but you have to make up your mind. But then again, K-pop stans are full of contradictions. They be saying things like, I want my faves to be popular, but then they gatekeep them. Or they claim to be in favor of idols dating but then proceed to be salty when their faves are in a relationship. Or again, they say they hate seeing minors debuting but then stan groups full of minors. For the last time, make up your mind. Companies don't know how to handle summer comebacks. A lot of people just hate summer comebacks, and even if I do think that so many summer songs are amazing bops, I think companies are just not putting that much care when it comes to summer comebacks, which is definitely a wasted opportunity. It's pretty obvious that summer comebacks are lower on budget compared to regular comebacks. They often look pretty cheap and rushed, like the company just wanted to put something out last minute right in time for the summer. I can kinda get it, but at the same time I don't. If you're gonna give a group a comeback, then make it a good comeback. Even if it's a summer one, this is only gonna benefit the group. Sometimes even if summer comebacks are bops, they are often quite an underwhelming era as far as outfits and music video are concerned. They're not exactly the iconic eras that the whole fandom is gonna remember on the long run, and this is kinda sad. People love a good summer bop, and if you're gonna give it to them you might as well put a bit of effort into the whole comeback. I think companies are underestimating the potential of summer songs and they're not putting that much care in the comebacks, which is definitely not a smart move. NMIXX has the best vocal line out of every JYP group. I mean, this isn't even an opinion, it's more like a fact. You cannot be telling me that Lily, Haran and Seolyoon don't make up the strongest vocal line JYP has ever had. And let's not forget that all of the other members are also very strong, which isn't exactly something to be taken for granted, as there are a lot of K-pop groups filled with people with mediocre vocals. I just think JYP has really hit the jackpot with NMIXX. I really wouldn't have expected one of the best 4th-gen vocal lines to come out of a JYP group, but it happened and I'm still amazed at how great they are. People are forgetting that being an all-rounder is not a requirement. 4th gen is surely known for its all-rounded groups that don't even do a fixed positions because everyone can do a bit of everything. This is definitely great since everyone gets to showcase different skills and not only one. But if someone is only strong at one particular thing, then that's fine. Being an all-rounder is not a requirement. It's definitely something to be praised and something that makes you a more complete artist, but some idols are just not like that, and that's okay. I don't get why you so desperately want to see a main vocalist being main dancer material or a main rapper being able to belt. If they can, that's awesome. Props to them. They are overall more talented than someone who can only do one thing. But it's not like everyone has to be able to do everything. Some people are only strong in one aspect, and even if they should be at least decent in the other departments as well, it's still perfectly fine if a main vocalist focuses on singing and is not that amazing of a dancer. And it's okay if a main dancer doesn't have the best vocals out there. Like I said, it's not like you can be good at one thing only and completely suck at everything else. As an idol, you should always try to improve where you're lacking. But it shouldn't matter if someone is not an all-rounder and they mostly stick to one thing. The disbandment of influential groups like Blackpink, Twice and BTS will not lead to K-pop's downfall. I'm sorry. Should I remind you that K-pop existed before all of these groups? Of course, Twice, Blackpink and BTS, as well as other groups, have brought in many new stans, but have you ever thought that maybe not every K-pop stan is a fan of those groups? Not everyone follows them and will decide to leave K-pop if they disband. And even people who follow these groups most likely stan other K-pop artists, and they'd still follow K-pop in order to support other groups on their stan list. If you think K-pop will decline after these groups disband, then you're wrong. Obviously, K-pop's international fame and hype might take a toll, but K-pop as a whole will be just fine. Okay everyone, this was it. These K-pop opinions were quite straightforward and you might have not liked hearing them, but still, these are kinda undeniable opinions. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching till the end. See you in the next video.